So crypto markets have been absolutely cratering over the past few months, but honestly, things could actually get worse, and we could still see a massive drawdown in the global market cap of cryptocurrency, especially certain specific cryptocurrencies that might actually go to zero. So in today's video, I'm going to break down why that might be the case and show you some of the strategies that I'm using to try to invest through this bear market. For starters, let's take a quick look at the total global cryptocurrency market cap, and you can see that from a peak of around $2.8 trillion last November, we've now come down to a total market cap of around $1.2 trillion. So we've lost well over 50% of the total value of the global cryptocurrency market. Now, of course, Bitcoin has been hit pretty hard, down basically 50% over the last 6 months. ETH has been hit even harder, down about 57% over the past 6 months. And a lot of altcoins, especially meme coins or shitcoins, are down even worse. Especially Luna, which over the course of a week or so at the beginning of May went to literally zero.
Oh, it went to zero!
But despite all of this, the pain might not be over, and we could still see a massive drawdown in the global crypto market cap, but more specifically in some of the cryptocurrencies on this list here. Now, Bitcoin and Ethereum, honestly, I think are in a league of their own. I do think that they are going to survive whatever downturn or bear market that we're going through and probably come out stronger on the other side. However, once we move below the top two, things get a lot shakier. For starters, Tether USDT, there's been a lot of issues around this stablecoin because people have suggested that it's not actually backed one-to-one with literal real world assets. So if too many people try to redeem their USDT for actual US dollars, essentially that could cause a bank run. And if Tether doesn't have the assets in reserve that they claim to have, then that could be a massive, massive negative catalyst for the crypto market, because obviously with a market cap of $73 billion, there's a lot of liquidity that hinges around USDT being in existence. And so if it depegged by a significant margin for a significant period of time, that could have a really dramatic ripple effect over the entire crypto market. And honestly, that could be devastating in the short to medium term for crypto prices. Now, aside from Tether, we've got a couple of other stable coins in the top 10 of global crypto market cap. USD coin is considered to be much more stable, much more secure, and their reserves are actually proven. So in that case, not something to be too worried about. Similar story with Binance USD or BUSD. However, some of the other cryptocurrencies in the top 10 list here, and definitely lots of the other ones as we go further on down the list, potentially could see some more market cap blow up and lose a lot more value. For example, number 6 on the list in terms of global market cap is currently XRP, which is the cryptocurrency managed by Ripple Labs, who have been going through a lawsuit with the SEC for a very long time. But even setting that aside, even if they win the lawsuit, which probably would have a short-term positive impact on the price, the fact of the matter is this is a cryptocurrency or a blockchain with a $20 billion market cap that basically doesn't really do all that much. Now, they claim to be a lightning fast global payment system, and maybe there is some potential there, but it is basically a privatized company. It's relatively centralized, especially compared to something like Bitcoin and the Bitcoin Lightning Network. And currently, it doesn't really do all that much. And in fact, if we compare that $20 billion market cap to actual companies, real world companies that produce products or services that actually do stuff, you can see that it's a similar market cap to something like Panasonic, which is a massive global manufacturer of electronics. And if we go further down the list, we've got companies like Match or H&M or Mitsubishi, but these have all a very similar market cap to Ripple XRP, but these companies are actually producing real world products or services. They're adding value, they're producing cash flows, and they're generating profits for shareholders. And so going back over to the list here, I'm not going to run through all of these, but let's talk about Dogecoin a little bit now, because this is number 10 in terms of the global crypto market cap. It has a total market cap of almost $11 billion. $11 billion for a meme that honestly does nothing. And if you compare that market cap of almost $11 billion to real companies, you can see it's on par with energy companies, or with Siemens, or with Plug Power, which is an EV charging company, or what else do we have on the list here? Puma, obviously a globally recognized apparel brand, all of which are producing real products, real services, generating cash flows and profits, and Dogecoin does literally nothing. And the further that we go down the list here, the more ridiculous some of these get, and the more likely they are to go to zero. In fact, I honestly believe that 90+% of the cryptocurrencies in existence today are eventually going to go to zero. And that is going to have a major impact on the global market cap. Now, the good thing about all of this is that Bitcoin and Ethereum collectively still account for well over half of the total crypto market cap, and those aren't going anywhere. But if we see some of these meme coins and coins start blowing up and going to zero, like I think they will, or actually like I think they should because they have no value, that's definitely going to have a downward or a negative impact on the price of everything, because as people sell out of that, they're withdrawing liquidity from the system, and that's probably going to bring everything down. So let me give you a list now of which tokens, or at least which types of tokens, are probably not going to make it. For sure, all of the scam coins are going to zero, and there's surprisingly a lot of them on this list. One that recently was just rugged is Monkeypox Inu, and the developers of this actually made off with $400 million. $400 million of retail money. People put that money into Monkeypox Inu token because, it's a meme, it's got a lot of attention, and they thought that, they might be able to get a quick pump and get their money out before they got rugged. Well, of course, that didn't happen. That coin went to zero, and $400 million was erased, or at least developers of this coin walked away with $400 million. I think that that's going to start happening to a lot of the other scam coins that are out there, of which there's quite a few, and some of them actually have significant market caps. Now, aside from the obvious scam coins, which eventually will certainly all go to zero, I think a lot of the meme coins are also eventually going to go to zero, because memes are only valuable insofar as they attract attention. But that attention won't last forever, and when it does inevitably go away, the price of these assets is going to drop right off a cliff. Do you honestly think that something like Dogecoin or Shiba Inu coin is going to be the global reserve currency of internet money in the next 5 to 10 years? I don't see it. The final type of token that might not make it are tokens that are connected to an app or a protocol that has some use, but where the token doesn't actually accrue the value, because these types of tokens that are divorced from the value creation really have less incentive for people to hold them, and so the price of those assets is not actually directly tied to the success of the app or the protocol. And one example that I'm thinking of off the top of my head is Uniswap, and since that token was airdropped, it's basically been down only, and the token doesn't really accrue value from the fees that are generated by people making transactions and swapping assets through Uniswap. They've been hesitant to turn that on because they're afraid of the implications of that through the eyes of the SEC. But without the accrual of some value to token holders, tokens like that are basically just governance tokens where people can vote on proposals, but they don't actually reap the rewards of the success of the app or the protocol. And no, I definitely don't put Uniswap in the same category as something like a scam coin or a meme coin, but it could have some struggles in the long run if it doesn't actually manage to turn on the accrual of value to the token holders. And the same can be said of many of the other governance tokens that don't have a direct link between the token and that value accrual. So finally, which cryptocurrencies and types of cryptocurrencies do I think are likely to actually make it, and what's my strategy for investing going forward? Well, in my opinion, the cryptocurrencies that are likely to make it are the ones where the underlying app or protocol actually is useful, has users, people enjoy using it, and where there's value accrual to the token holders. So something like Ethereum is a perfect example. People have built many different applications upon the Ethereum network, and also there is accrual of value to people that hold the Ether or the ETH tokens, especially if they're staking them. Also included in this category would be any of the ERC20 tokens where there is value accrual to the token, at least if people stake it and they receive some sort of reward that way. And then Bitcoin is obviously in a league of its own. It has value and it is useful. So my strategy for investing moving forward is mainly to put more money into ETH, probably to purchase a little bit more BTC as well. But in the long run, I do think that Ethereum has a lot of potential that Bitcoin doesn't have because it's more dynamic, because things can be built upon it, and because it could be the foundational underlying layer for the development of Web3 or the settlement layer for global financial transactions. So in the long run, I think that Ethereum might have more potential than Bitcoin, but definitely Bitcoin is here to stay as well. So that's my strategy moving forward. Those are the assets or types of assets that I think are actually going to make it through this downturn, even if we do see another 50+% drop in crypto market cap. Who knows? Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later.